From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hi everyone and welcome to Studio One. I'm Kari Strandberg.
And I'm Avery Robb.
Today on the show, a single swipe of the pencil has the potential to save lives. Learn why it's so important to check the box labeled yes.
Also, every person who loves the outdoors has a memory of catching that big fish or taking down a beautiful buck. See how one man tells those stories with more than just words. But first, the first criminal charges in connection to the Flint water crisis have been announced. A former supervisor at the town's water treatment plant was charged with tampering with evidence and willfully neglecting his duty as a public officer. Officials with the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality also face charges, including violation of the Safe Drinking Water Act. The Attorney General said to expect more charges as the investigation continues and that no one is ruled out. Students in St. Francis, Wisconsin are finding new ways to lend a helping hand. A science teacher purchased 3D printers for his students. They then got involved with a program called Enabling the Future. The program consists of using the printers to create prosthetic hands, which are then shipped to people who need them. The students do all the work voluntarily during lunch and recess hours. Over the years, prom has become a very expensive and elaborate event. However, promposals, or the act of asking someone to the event, are actually rivaling the prom itself. A survey by Visa says American families will spend $919 on the prom. Families from the Midwest will spend far less at only $515. The survey also shows that teenagers are spending an average of $324 on promposals alone. But it's not money that's the big question. It's a lot of the time and effort.
Oh, it's the flowers, it's the music, it is the notes, the handwritten signs, it's everything.
The average cost of $919 includes the attire, transportation, food, and more. Promposals now make up 1/3 of the total budget spent towards prom.
If you're a young professional looking to take a vacation anytime soon, don't expect any praise from your coworkers. A survey commissioned by Alamo Rent-A-Car shows more than half of their employees under 35 experience what they refer to as vacation shaming. This anti-holiday sentiment is becoming more common among young adults. Alamo says millennials aren't just guilting their peers, they're also feeling the guilt themselves. Though there is evidence to suggest millennials are taking the shaming comments too seriously, the trend is likely to get worse before it gets better.
The auto industry took a hit after the financial meltdown of 2008. Now, nearly a decade later, car sales are making a turn.
It's the top prize in a game show, but Drew Carey is nowhere to be found.
I've never owned a brand new vehicle, and I want to get something new.
When it comes to recent car sales, buying new is the new thing, and the time has never been better. Many people, like Jennifer, are taking advantage of this opportunity.
I just graduated from college, and it's kind of my gift to myself.
Jennifer graduated from nursing school, and the wait to claim her self-declared prize was just long enough.
Too long?
Car dealerships have also waited too long for sales like these. Kelly Blue Book reports that last year alone, roughly 18 million vehicles were bought in the U.S., the highest number in over a decade. February and March alone broke 10-year slumps for auto sales. Rydell in Grand Forks now sees between 10 to 20 vehicles drive off the lot every day, and even saw a weekday with 34 auto purchases.
New vehicles are increasing now as of late because of leasing programs that are in place to help people get into more of a fixed payment.
Other causes for the acceleration in new car sales include less supervision on vehicle maintenance, and some saying that newer models just look better.
Plus you get the warranty. Can't beat the warranty.
But what goes up must come down.
Everything goes in a cycle. So what we're seeing over the last few years is an upward trend, and we're probably close to the peak of that trend.
In the meantime, consumers are buying while the price is right. For Studio One, I'm Jacob Noterman.
Rydell says that on average, 1.5 used cars are sold for every new car. The upward trend in car sales is said to be favoring younger models. That's the news for now.
Thanks, Avery. Let's go now to Kayla Lucky for the weather news. Kayla?
Thanks, Kari. Here at the Weather Studio, we're taking a look at all the flooding that's been occurring down in Texas earlier this week. It caused catastrophic flooding and killed 8 people. The rain caused upwards to $5 billion in damage. As we go over to Fort Worth, Texas, it flooded streets and left a number of drivers stranded in trapped vehicles on the interstate. The National Guard is on standby to rescue anyone who still needs help. And this brings us to what we're going to be looking at today, and that actually prompted a lot of flash flood warnings in Texas. Today we're going to be looking at advisories, watches, and warnings. And as we can see, that this system did did prompt all of these alerts. As we look over here at the gray one, this is an advisory. That means, hey, it's going to be happening, but it's not going to be happening for the next day or so. And as we look at the warnings over here, this means that, or this watch over here, that means it's going to be happening, but it won't be happening for the next hour, and you should be starting to be aware of what's going on. As we look at the orange right here, and that means it is happening, you should be taking shelter and being very cautious of what you are doing. If you want to go into, or you can go to the Storm Prediction Center to see what's happening, and that will bring out what's going to be occurring for the next week. And severe weather comes in, or is happening throughout the summer. And there is one man that is trying to, or there is one class that is trying to help keep you safe. It's probably safe to say that Jonathan Straub is a weather enthusiast.
I've really been excited about weather since I was a kid. Shortly after I got my driver's license, I actually started chasing storms myself.
Today, Jonathan is getting trained in to become an official storm spotter. Storm spotters help the National Weather Service.
Most times whenever there is a severe storm warning or an expected event, we will, as ham radio operators, we'll actually go out into the field where National Weather requests it.
So these people are there, they're the eyes. They're the people that are validating that something's going on.
Jonathan and others like him have to go to a storm spotting class every year.
This class is to teach the fundamentals of detecting, reporting, and surviving during severe weather.
Jonathan's favorite part about the class every year
is they actually help you understand which sections of the storm are the safest to be in if you're chasing.
When the sky starts to rumble, Jonathan becomes an important piece to the information puzzle. The National Weather Service relies on his eyes to help keep others safe. This class is open to anyone and everyone, and times are posted on the National Weather Service website. And this brings us to our weather question of the week. What should you do if you are driving and see a tornado? Should you A, go under an overpass, B, stay in your car, C, lay in the ditch, or D, drive towards it? And Kari, if there is severe weather occurring and you are in a car, you should be starting to listen to your local radio or the weather radio.
Absolutely, that's an important thing to remember. Thanks, Kayla. Now we're going to head on over to Avery with the sports story of today's show. Avery?
Thanks, Kari. The details of the day you reeled in that big catch or shot your first deer may be difficult to remember. We met one man who is helping preserve those stories in a different way.
The nose is all painted, bumps are rebuilt.
Take one look around Andy Lundbohm's garage, and you'll notice his calling looking back.
That's all I want to do is go hunting and fishing pretty much my whole life, and then finally when an opportunity came, that's how I got started guiding. I had an opportunity.
Andy spends his summers operating a fishing guide service on Lake of the Woods, Minnesota.
I got into where the brain cavity to get all the oil out.
When winter takes over, his work isn't finished quite yet.
Most people got the perception that, you know, it's all blood and guts, and you can see in here there's nothing, I don't have any dead animals.
The work here is taxidermy, a tradition that began in the early 1800s. It literally means the arrangement of skin.
You're just taking a tanned hide and putting it on a styrofoam mannequin.
A combination of painting, carpentry, and a lot of sewing. Andy says it's the perfect balance of art and science.
Selma, go lay down.
When the work is finished, Andy's creations don't find their way into his living room. His wife has a strict no mounts in the house rule.
Because Andy will stare at them and look for every mistake and figure out how he can get better. And he'll totally ignore anything I'm saying to him.
I don't remember as many, the ones I've shot or fish I've caught as much as the ones I've screwed up on.
After dedicating hours of work and taking countless trips to the craft store, it's not always about being perfect.
Having everyone come in, hearing their outdoor stories and everything, you know, that's probably the best part.
And with the job done right, sometimes those stories are told from the mounts themselves. I'm Jake Ocken, reporting for Studio One.
Andy is the winner of numerous awards, including an award for the most artistic entry. And that's the sports story for today's show. Kari, it looks like a lot of work goes into it, but the product is really cool.
Absolutely, they looked really nice. Thanks, Avery. Donate Life America says almost 124,000 people across the United States are waiting for an organ transplant. Next, we'll meet a woman who knows firsthand how organ donation can change a life.
Closed captioning for Studio One is underwritten in part by NDAD, helping others to help themselves.
For me to go to college, it was a big step, knowing that I'm pursuing a better future for myself. When you know that you have a small system there that you can still find comfort in, it really makes a difference. The support here and everything that they offer for us, you know, the tutors, the free meals, the family, the friends, basically just somewhere for you to relax and be comfortable and find that home feeling again.
Yeah, okay, science meets imagination. Life changed by innovation. They're the future of our nation. Engineers the occupation. UND College of Engineering and Mines. Invest in your mind to stay with the times. Formulas, machines, and all that's in between. They teach it all from wall to help you succeed. Come on, it could be electrical, chemical, or civil. Our world-class staff will help you make it all official. Mechanical, petroleum, geology align at the
UND's College of Engineering and Mines.
Okay, become a leader, prove yourself among all your peers. Changing the world begins right here. You're not alone, but in the plan, we'll take your hand and help you stand with mentorship and advising. We'll do all we can. Okay, so if you want to join the party, simply calculate. The math adds up, so never think to hesitate. Education, leadership, and dreams combined at the UND College of Engineering and Mines.
I really love UND.
It's just exactly what I want to be doing, and you know, with this program I get to do it.
It's very tailored to what your interests are and what your future goals are.
By the time I graduate, I'll have a stacked resume.
This grad program has been unbelievable. It has literally been a dream come true.
With more than 120 degree and certificate programs, the UND School of Graduate Studies is your path to success.
Closed captioning for Studio One is supported in part by the Listen Center, enriching the lives of people who have intellectual disabilities with choices in community recreation.
April is National Donate Life Month, and this year the theme is sunflowers. The image was chosen because one flower produces enough seeds to grow an entire new field of sunflowers. Donate Life America advocate Casey Heisler is here to tell us how one person can help save the lives of many others. Thanks for being on the show with us today, Casey.
Thank you.
So you're an advocate for Donate Life America. What exactly is that organization?
Donate Life America is basically just a way for people who have a passion for it to be able to explain to others why it's so important and just get the word out there.
And this organization relates to your family. Can you tell me about the event that occurred to have your family be so involved in organ donation now?
So my brother actually went to school at the University of North Dakota, and in the spring of 2014, he was involved in a house fire, and it was mostly smoke. So once he was airlifted to Minneapolis, the doctors, after many tests, determined that he was brain dead. And at that point, they took into consideration that he had checked yes on his license for, to be an organ donor. So he ended up donating his organs, and he ended up impacting the lives of like more than 60 people.
That's incredible. Yeah. What was it like for your family to make that decision during such a hard time?
At first, it was kind of, it wasn't hard, but it was kind of just all happened. There was so many things happening at once, and that was just one thing. It was kind of like the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, we could see good in it. I remember my mom would say, like, people are getting calls right now, like, that they might get a new heart or a new liver, and like good things are happening for other people, even though bad things are happening for us at the time. So that kind of made it a lot easier.
Your brother was supposed to be here when you came to UND to help you with that transition. What was that like with not having him here? Was that difficult for you?
It was definitely a hard time, just being in my senior year and having him be a big part of the reason I chose to come to UND. Having that safety kind of taken away. I was lucky that I had such an amazing, like, all of his friends up here did so good with me, and when I came in my dorm, a few people high up at UND came in and just welcomed me, and it felt right away when I got here.
That's great. So the person that got your brother's heart, Tom, he wasn't first on the organ donation list. Can you tell me how he ended up receiving the heart?
Tom was actually third on the on the transplant list. And there was 3 surgeons in the room when they were taking the organs from Matt. And the first 2 doctors had looked, and they decided that they didn't want to take Matt's heart because there was like a little butterfly-looking tissue on it. And they just couldn't risk it because they thought the heart was like damaged. And then Tom ended up only having he probably would have had like 3 more days to live if he wouldn't have gotten a heart. So his doctor was like, this is our only chance. So he took it, and right as he like lifted the heart out of my brother, the butterfly looking thing just fell right off, and it was a perfect match. So
wow.
Just meant to be.
So Tom was able to get a second chance at life because of your brother. Do you feel a connection with him then? Like, how does that make you feel to know that your brother did something so great for someone else?
It's definitely very comforting to have him. He's the sweetest man. He's like I just look at him like a grandpa. And he always says him and Matt are going to be the first people to make it to 100, like the first heart transplant to live to be 100. And he said he wakes up every day and like he thinks of Matt all the time, and obviously that makes me feel connected to him because I'm thinking of Matt all the time too.
How does your family raise awareness for organ donation?
We actually have an event, the Matt Heisler Charity Golf Tournament, and we hold it every summer in August. And we kind of spend the whole day talking about organ donation. And last year, Tom was actually able to be there and like meet all of Matt's family and friends, and it was cool to be able to have them meet him too, because I mean, obviously they want to be able to put their hand on his heart and like feel it beat again as well. So
that's great that they all got to meet him then. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me a little bit about the bracelets that you're wearing today?
So me and all of the people that love Matt wear this green bracelet that says Donate Life. Mm-hmm. And then we wear a blue and white bracelet that says Matthew 3:17 on it because Matt loved the Dallas Cowboys, and these are the colors of that. And we chose Matthew 3:17. It's actually a Bible verse, and it's also the date that Matt passed away, so that was kind of a weird coincidence. And the Bible verse says something along the lines of, and behold, this is my dearly beloved Son who brings me great joy. So just kind of a weird coincidence that was the day that he died in the verse and his name and obviously the date. So
yeah, that fits in perfectly with that. Great. Thanks for being on the show with us today,
yeah,
Casey.
Thank you.
The return to civilian life can be a difficult transition for those who have served our country overseas. Coming up, see how one woman is helping others use an artistic alternative to cope with the tough times.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
not the size of the woman in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the woman.
Really admire the faculty. They're the ones that kind of helped push me through this.
Courses are hands-on and interactive. The communication program has so many different facets to it. One of the great things about the staff in the communication department is that they love what they do. They encourage you to really critically think and analyze everything you're learning. They're so into it, and it makes you want to be into it.
North Dakota is facing challenges in healthcare delivery. The University of North Dakota School of Medicine and Health Sciences is building a place to help meet the state's healthcare needs. In addition to a new structure, we're also building interaction between healthcare professionals while building a workforce through expanding class sizes. We're inspiring our youth to engage in healthcare careers and exploring ways to reduce disease. It starts here and ends here, building a better future for North Dakota.
To have the future you want and a career you'll be proud of, you'll need a great education. The University of North Dakota can get you there with more than 225 degree programs, preparing you for today's fastest growing, high-demand careers, like medicine and health professions, aerospace, business, engineering, and energy. Schedule your campus visit today at und.edu/go, because to succeed, you need to be exceptional.
If you would like to attend a live show, go to our website at studio1.und.edu.
Chris Hemsworth and Charlize Theron return with their roles from Snow White and the Huntsman in a time before Snow White was born. Emily Blunt joins the cast in the new movie The Huntsman: Winter's War. Theron stars as evil queen Ravana, who betrays her good sister Freya with an unforgivable act. Retreating to a kingdom far to the north, Freya raises an army of huntsmen, including Hemsworth, as her protectors. A war of domination escalates between the two queens.
This film really is a struggle between characters that are very, very different, but the struggle of, you know, the classic fairy tale conflict of good and evil, but also that there's complexities within that.
The complexity of the characters is also seen in the costumes that designer Colleen Atwood created. Atwood employed a team of almost 120 people to prepare the number of costumes for the production demanded. The Huntsman: Winter's War is released April 22nd with a PG-13 rating. Just a couple of decades ago, entire families would gather around the TV to watch a program from start to end without distractions. This is now a rarity. A recent study by consulting service Deloitte says that over 90% of U.S. television consumers multitask while they watch. On average, millennials ages 19 to 25 engage in about 4 additional activities while watching TV. We wanted your thoughts about your multitasking habits while watching television.
But normally I'm focused on what I'm doing, so I'll try to, usually I just watch what I'm doing on the work I'm doing, and then just kind of glance over at the other things.
Oh, work on the computer, doing some reports, whatever it is. So, yep, one eye on the TV, one eye on the computer. So.
Yes, I do. I love to do puzzles, and sometimes I'll scrapbook or bead, or maybe I'm doing the laundry and the dishes.
I mean, you're on the phone, you're on your laptop, and you're watching TV. You're doing all kinds of, But yeah.
Usually planning out the next day, things I need to get done, making lists. And then we just got puppies.
I'm usually multitasking. Most often I'm on the computer while watching TV as well.
Usually if it's something like The Voice or something I like, I'll probably pay attention to it for a little bit, but yeah, usually always on my phone.
A comment on Facebook from John in Becker, Minnesota. It's very easy to get caught up in other things while watching sports or your favorite show. I tend to be on my phone while watching TV or doing other things such as cooking or cleaning. And from Kaylee in Hallock, Minnesota, When I watch TV, I'm easily doing 10 other things as well as watching the show, whether it be cooking dinner, cleaning, homework, scrolling through social media, online shopping, or working out.
Grand Forks features plenty of outreach programs for veterans. One woman is trying something new by reaching out and encouraging local vets to express themselves.
This YMCA, like many others, is a place where the community can come together, shoot some hoops, or even impatiently wait for a class to begin. But head to the basement on a Tuesday night and you'll find a different kind of activity.
Well, I have a passion for people and I have a passion for the arts.
Kim's class attracts people of all ages, but they all have one thing in common.
I saw a lot of veterans kind of fall through the cracks, and it's become kind of a passion of mine to say that is totally not right.
With all the veterans that attend her class, the experiences can vary.
Like you go to Okinawa, you know, and then you're stationed over there, overseas for 6 months.
Some guys try to kill us, you know. So you can yell all you want, and oh my God.
No matter what these service members experienced, Kim aims to help in any way she can.
Learn a few techniques dealing with anxiety, PTSD.
As the daughter of a Navy veteran, Kim understands some of the struggles vets face.
PTSD, you know, chronic pain.
Kim helps vets overcome different obstacles, even tackling a few of her own.
Tendons and part of my skull, things like that. And it was evident by then, 15 months later, that I'd had a TBI.
Suffering from a traumatic brain injury gave Kim a unique view of what a lot of veterans deal with every day and compelled her to share what she loves with others.
I love when the light clicks on and somebody solves a problem here with a piece of work and they go, oh my God, I can do that.
Through the ups and the downs, Kim can be relied on to remain positive, bringing joy to others and overcoming her own obstacles with a smile on her face and a brush in her hand. With Studio One, I'm Matt Eatson.
Kim holds her Healthy Living Through Art for Veterans class every Tuesday night at the Grand Forks YMCA. If you would like more information, please visit the YMCA's website. Hats off to Kim. She's doing good things for good people.
It looks like a great bonding experience for them as well.
Yes.
Thanks, Avery. Now Kayla joins us in our studio with a final look at the weather. Kayla?
Thanks, Kari. As we go into temperatures this week, there will be a low pressure system moving in, keeping most of the United States cool. As we go into precipitation, we will be seeing a lot of rain throughout the week. And as we go to the weather question of the week, we will be, or that answer is actually C, lay in the ditch. Now, most people think it is D or B, go under the underpass, and that is because that and Kari, most, oh my gosh, and Kari, we should be keeping or staying safe.
Thanks, Kayla. And that's our show for today. As always, you can follow us through social media or get more information on our website.
From all of us at Studio One, have a great week.